What do you do when your studio no longer exists? Like all your stuff's gone. So, hello. You might notice something a bit different about where I am sat. I don't usually do videos from here, but my studio burnt down, so I'm having to change things up for the minute. So the truth is, we're not 100% sure what happened. So on the 28th of August at about 1 a.m, we think that an old GoPro battery exploded. That's our best guess, I think. It was in a drawer in my studio where I kept it, and that resulting fire from the explosion destroyed 95% of all of the stuff in the studio that I had. So it was a large, significant fire. I'm sure I'll be cutting in some footage from the day. Well, I've done a number on the room. I think whatever started the fire started here on my desk, under these IKEA boards, or on them, I'm not sure, but that looks like it started there. And then, yeah, everything. Pulled my Mac Mini out from under the desk, grabbed a few hard drives, hopefully they didn't get soaked. Maybe they'll still work. Maybe I won't have lost all my work. I just put two nice pictures up on there. 3D printer's gone. That there was a PC. Quite a high spec one. I didn't have insurance. I missed an email in last year in the summer. They had cancelled off my insurance. So mentally, it's just all gone. Like, written off. I've just written it off in my brain. Not something that I need to worry about. Like, all the stuff that can be replaced will be replaced all the time. It sucks, and I've lost thousands of pounds worth of equipment. But stuff is stuff. So when it happened, nobody called to tell us. So I turned up at about 20 to 8 in the morning, ready to start a day. I was in a good mood. I had a lot planned that day. But the front door was barricaded shut by two big wooden beams. I'll put the photo up. And then I had to try and work out what happened. So I don't actually know anybody that this has happened to. Like, I've known people who've had to move studios at short notice, people whose like leases have ended and they've had to move all of their gear or find a way to like move their creative life somewhere else. But I don't know anybody who has just lost everything overnight. Honestly, it's a quite strange and surreal feeling, losing everything, as I'm sure you can imagine. Other than the initial like stomach drop when I walked around the side of the building and I saw my window smashed through with like scorch marks all up the window frame. The way that I've reacted to this has been kind of just straightforwardly practical. Like what do you do? What do you do when your studio no longer exists? Like all your stuff's gone. How do you carry on working? Because I still had jobs on. Just like from trying to figure out who at the fire service to speak to. That took ages because there's been a fire. We didn't know what had caused it. Do they need to investigate? Are we allowed in? Because everything's like screwed shut. It took me a day and a half. Ended up just ringing the fire station in Sunderland Central, and they said that they hadn't handed it over to the police for an investigation, so maybe just go ahead. Like, there's nothing to investigate if the police are not involved. That was that. Whenever like big bad events in my life have happened up to now, it seems that the way that I deal with it, it doesn't hit me straight away. It usually takes like a little while, and then all of a sudden it'll hit me. Usually in not an ideal place, but it does eventually hit me. It's like delayed reaction. So like bad thing happens, I deal with it, try and sort everything out, and then at some point in the future something will happen and it'll just hit me, and then I'll be really sad about it. But it hasn't happened yet, and it's been like 3 weeks. It's been annoying having to work from home again, and as you can see, I have a lovely home, but not somewhere I want to be all of the time. So what do you lose when you lose your creative space? It's one of the things I've been thinking about when I've been writing, trying to process my thoughts about what happened. So this is incredibly subjective, and it'll obviously differ among everybody who's unlucky enough to have this happen to them. So I can only speak to like what I've lost, my feelings on it. One, I hesitate to say pleasant surprise, but my unattachment to stuff, that's been nice. Like, I thought that like losing all of my things would like really upset me. But that's sort of played out in just a, like, I'll try to do something and I won't have a thing to do that thing with. Everything was just tools, really. That's not to say that there wasn't sentimental stuff. There was sentimental stuff. And that's stuff that I'm just not getting back. There was the baseball cap that I was wearing in New York when I got engaged. There was drawings from my kids' journals from when the kids were born. All of what I was thinking and feeling at the time that I think I wanted to look back on when I was older, all of that's burned. So I'm not gonna have that, and that sucks. That's really sad, to be honest. But the rest of the stuff, had some old laptops. I lost like a lot of stuff. 3 old laptops, three old laptops, cameras, lighting, 25 years worth of drawing and design, like hand-drawn designs, all gone. So I did lose some stuff. But one of the things that I have lost, obviously for the minute, is the space itself. When you have a studio or a creative space of your own, you end up making it in your image. And I'd actually just started a series about the white wall and like customizing my space a bit more, making it more arty, more me, so it had more personality in it, and I was working on that. Whether or not you realize what you're doing, you are building a space for yourself to work. It has all the things you need for your like day-to-day job, but also like, I don't know, your kettle, your coffee making setup, all of that. You make it to your purpose, really. And when you're forced back into like your home or a home office that you share, or like a co-working space, you can work there, like it's not impossible, but you're forced into adapting to your environment rather than adapting your environment to you, which is what your creative space is. It's an environment that you have made, and you make it what it needs to be. I think that's the biggest thing. So moving back from a space that I had adapted to my work and what I need to do on a day-to-day, to a space that is not built for that. It's just like a general purpose office, and it's tiny, which is why I'm not shooting in there right now. My main computer survived. My hard drive survived, thanks to mounting them under the desk. So when the fire broke out, it was like slightly higher up. So most of the smoke went above the desk and up to the ceiling. And then when the fire service sprayed the place down, they sprayed everything on top of the desk and the fire, which was to the left. But my computer and hard drives were mounted underneath my desk to the right, so the water ran off and didn't hit anything, which is absolutely amazing. Some stuff on my desk survived. A couple of the sort of Android phones, but one of those is probably cooked. The Nintendo Switch got very melted. That was interesting. Didn't catch fire, which was good, but melted, very melted. Events like this are going to hit people differently at different times, I think. Like, I don't feel like a deep sense of grief over everything I've lost, just over like the sentimental stuff, which tells me that when I get my space back and I rebuild it, what I'm going to double down on is that it's going to be the personality of the space. It's going to be sort of putting me back into that space and adapting it again to what I need to do. I'm getting very warm sat here in this window greenhouse. So how do you start to rebuild? First of all, we need permission from the council. It's a grade 2 listed building, and so like each window needs to be restored exactly the way that it was when it was built, which is probably going to run them like $2,000 a window. We're going to have to replace all the fire doors. I think there was like 7 of those got smashed through. The guy who breaks down the fire doors for the fire service, he loves his job, loves it. On a practical note though, you quickly notice what you don't have that you need. I keep going to do things and like going to get something and be like, oh yeah, fire, don't have that anymore. For me, like the initial things were like an Amazon Basics tripod, like nothing but a camera on to shoot any video about it. That was annoying. And then like I write every morning as a practice. I try and write every morning in a journal. I'll do a video on this at some point in the future because I think it's been a very important tool for me in my creative life. But just that, in that writing, I lost the tools that I write with. I lost my journal that I nearly finished. I lost the pens that I use. And I had to go back to just what I had, which was like a Muji 0.5 gel pen, which is fine. Like it works for like project stuff, but I don't love writing with it. It's annoying. It doesn't feel nice. So the first things that I rebought, an Amazon Basics tripod and a Kaweco Sport fountain pen that I loved, a Lamy fountain pen that I loved as well, just so I could have my writing back. I think that the best place to start over is to get what you need to get going again, like the immediate things: new keyboard, new mouse, new monitor, new pens, new journal. Just get the things that you use every day, and then as you start to hit more issues in what you're trying to do in your day-to-day work, start to replace those things as they come along. One, you're not buying everything all at once, because that's not fun. And two, you've not got the space at the moment. So the office upstairs is tiny, I'll put in a video. So there's not much space to store anything, so I can't just go and get all my stuff back. I can't get my 3D printer back straight away as much as I would like it. Just as like a button on the video, I'd like to say thank you to Rob for helping me clear out, for just handling so much of this disaster. Rob's dad, who built the space, he built it to such a high standard that the plasterboard he used, like, we think the fire was got on for like an hour, 2 hours before the fire service got there, and it didn't even go through like one board. So he built it to such a high standard, and it's to his credit that it was only my space that was destroyed, because it would have been awful if other people had been like really affected by this, because there's a couple of other people in the same floor as me, and then there's a music studio downstairs, so I was really worried that there'd be like water damage and like fire damage to like instruments and all sorts of stuff. But luckily just my stuff. Thank you to my dad for reminding me that I don't have to just do this by myself. It went a lot quicker with extra pairs of hands. And then I've already done like a couple of social media posts about this, and the outpouring of support I was not expecting. Like, I expected maybe a couple of messages and like, oh, that sucks, mate. But like the genuine like messages that I've got have really helped, I think, as well. So thank you to all of those people. So what's next? What's next for the channel? What did I have planned? I've started a newsletter proper called This Week's Project, and that should be the framework for this channel going forward, I think. Because I work on so many different things like AR, AI, more practical stuff that I want to incorporate. Like, I've got so many ideas for videos that I want to do. Obviously it's much harder to make them now because I don't have a studio to make them in, but that will come eventually. And in the meantime, I'm just going to sort of focus on projects that I want to do, projects that make me happy, projects that are satisfying. So this week's project is a newsletter. Please sign up to it. The link will be below. It's not going to be weekly. It says this week's project, but it's not going to be weekly. It's going to be what I'm working on that week. It has a few recommendations for music, podcasts, things I'm watching. One of the videos that I'm going to do is I have some vintage shirts that I need to repair. I have my favourite jacket got ripped last year and I haven't worn it since. And I bought all the stuff to repair that. So I'm going to do probably a video on that because that's a nice project, nice relaxing project. This week's project, it's talking about what I'm doing week to week, primarily so I have a record of it, but it's going to be a place about creativity. It's going to be a place about trying new things, learning new things. And yeah, I'm quite excited about doing it. I have so many ideas, which is a nice place to be. If you've got this far in this video, thank you for watching. I like making videos, and I'm trying to make them in a way that I like, which probably will not be fantastic for the algorithm, but here we are. Anyway, thanks a lot, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.